So right now I'm actually walking home because I so I'm starting a business in Zim. No, I'm starting a business. I have started a business in Zim with my business partner, and I'm currently here for us to just like touch base, help out with some things, but yeah. So I like we spend a lot of money on a lot of things, and what I consider to be a lot of money on a lot of things. So for me, sometimes, especially like after like a stressful day like the one that I had today, I'm literally rambling. I'm going round and round. But like I said, we're gonna get there. You have to start somewhere. For me, like also after like a long day, and the way I don't like spending so much money. Okay, I need to cross the road. Let me cross the road. I like walking to just kind of like relax, ease my mind. So that's why I thought, let me actually just film an introductory video. So basically in my videos I'll be speaking about this journey I'm on starting my business. Whether it works out or doesn't, I'm cool with that because I'm learning a lot. Obviously I want it to work out. Who doesn't want the business to work out? But so this is what I'm doing, and I really hope you enjoy the videos. There may be delays with me uploading them, especially while I'm in Zim, because also another part of me, the truck, there it is. Another part of me is that like I really don't want to spend money on data, because I want to spend money on other things. So it might take a while for me because I probably need to go to like maybe somewhere to like upload it, but you'll get them. So yeah, welcome to my little videos. I'm not a professional or anything, but I just like sharing. So let's do this. Hello. So today we're going to be discussing, kind of the disadvantages and advantages of a co-founder relationship. And I know there's some people who wonder, should I have a co-founder or should I go at a project by myself? So what happened with my project with Mumbai is that we were talking in December about how, in 2019, the coming year, we didn't really have any set work that, was waiting for us. We hadn't signed any contracts. We were both unemployed. And we're like, let's not waste this time. Let's actually, start something. So we started talking about a lot of things, and one of my frustrations is what actually brought the business idea to life. So I actually came up with the idea. And then from then on, we worked at it, researched, did a lot of work. And then the current model that we're going with now is what she actually suggested as the way in which you should refine the idea. So I know there's a lot of, weird feelings about, if I come with the idea, should I own most of it? Like, how does that whole split work? And I mean, that depends on you and your co-founder. But for me, I personally believe that, when you pick someone, you should pick someone who can think and who will be equally invested in your idea, such that they can do the work in order to refine it to become something great, which is what happened with Mumbai, which is why we're in a good, co-founder relationship. So some disadvantages of having a co-founder are obviously that maybe there might be time lags because a lot of decision making you have to make with someone else. And also maybe sometimes you may have disagreements in your vision and where you want to go. But again, because you're in a co-founder relationship, you have to actively work on your communication strategy and, your relationship with this person. You can't just have a co-founder who you're like, we just do business together, that's it. You do actually have to be able to have some sort of relationship where you guys can talk about things. And where you guys can even address because sometimes there might be some personal things that come in the way of, business development and progression. And you guys need to be able to talk about that. And come to a common understanding, basically. This is another point. So advantages of having a co-founder is that if your project is capital intensive, you have someone who can help you split the cost. That is always so helpful. Again, another big advantage is that you have someone who can help you think. Two brains are honestly better than one. And, again, this person is invested in this idea and they want to see it through. Another part of having a co-founder is that they have their network and your network, so you're just increasing your amount of reach. I've been very happy with my co-founder relationship. I think it has helped our business a lot. I don't think I could have like done everything that we've managed to pull off by myself. Like just a few like extra points with what I think about having a co-founder relationship. There's some projects that when you actually sit down and think about them, it might be better to actually have more of a collaboration than a co-founder relationship. So you run your project and it's yours, but now when you need someone with certain skills or certain know-how, you just ask them to help with that section of the business. You don't have them as a co-founder. That approach may help people who just really don't want to do any partnerships. And another really important thing for me, as someone who shares the same values as I do, I really don't like working with people who, we're on like different wavelengths. They think in terms of values, I need someone who, wants to be honest, wants to do things the right way, is willing to be patient when things are, not going well, because that happens a lot. And someone who, can also self-motivate, because sometimes you're not always there to motivate your partner. So yeah, that's some of my thoughts on a co-founder relationship. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. So we finally launched U-Plan and just kind of gone public with this project we're working on, and I'm so excited. I'm so relieved, because Mba and I have been working on U-Plan for like 11 months, literally close to 11 months, and our launch date has moved a lot of times. We wanted to first launch on the 1st of May, and then by then we weren't ready at all, and we had to delay it. And I think just one thing I've just learned is that a dream delayed is not a dream denied. And if you've started working on something, it's okay for it to not look the way you wanted it to look. Like initially, there's so many improvements that have come with U-Plan that we're really excited to share with you guys. And just kind of like getting feedback already and insights is really great, which actually leads me to the topic of this video, which is tracking insights. So week 1 obviously has been met with a lot of like comments from people and all of that, and we take everything so seriously. We really want to improve and make it like the best product that we can offer. So we've been in the process of tracking our feedback, and I think the easiest way to do that, and also kind of like most convertible way, is using Excel. So we have like an Excel sheet for both our supply side and our demand side, and we just kind of like track comments, when do they come in, kind of who dealt with them, how were they dealt with, so that we can also improve our learnings for like future times. And then that can also feed into like our frequently asked sections tab on our website, again, as we like continue growing and everything. So please, if you guys have any comments, any suggestions, like we are so open to taking all of it, please bring it in. But week 1 has been really amazing, and it's just like giving us a lot of like energy to just keep going and working on this, because it's not like we built it for launch. We actually built it to be built and to serve a need. So that's that on that. I wanted to discuss dealing with like competition, direct competition from other small businesses, from big businesses, because Mumbai and I have like faced that. So when we started and we were doing our market research, we bumped into like a direct competitor, which happens like all the time. But these people were doing like the exact same thing we're doing. Like every single part of like the business model canvas that we filled in of our like 5-page business plan that we did, like they a lot of the ideas they'd already implemented, and they'd been running for I think about like a year or 6 months prior to us, and it discouraged us a lot. Like we doubted ourselves, we doubted whether like it was even worth it to continue with the idea, and we took like a long time trying like actually recovering from that and starting to work again, which like in hindsight, to me, I see that like as like a waste of time. But I think like we kind of needed to go through like all the motions of what happened in order to really like have the confidence that we have now in our product. So once we were like back up and running again, we obviously like studied them, and we looked into like what they're offering, how they're doing things, obviously like publicly accessible information. We didn't like go like deep into trying to like nothing like that. We also looked into the markets that they're like like most popular in, and we asked people in those markets, hey, do you know these people, what do you think of them? And that also assisted us, because like it was kind of like just a chat, so people would be like, oh yeah, I do know them and they're cool, but I'd prefer if they also did this or that. And some of those discussions actually helped us like specialize our offering into like what we're currently doing now. That was like a direct competitor. Another competitor that you will encounter is an indirect competitor. So if, let's say, like you want to make like sneakers, right? Obviously like your direct competitors would be like people who do sneakers, the Vans, the All Stars, Nike and everything. But your indirect could even be like people who make closed shoes, people who even just like make socks. Like socks could literally be an indirect competitor, because customer preferences change and people might just prefer to wear something lighter, maybe like indoors or like outside, or even like in their car than proper like closed shoes. So we obviously had indirect competitors, and we did the same thing with them. We also kind of looked at like how they're doing business, what the biggest like threat with them would be, to also kind of learn like how we should position ourselves. Of course, with all this planning and research, it's not like we want to come up with like the best strategy on how to deal with competitors, but it really helped us flesh out our idea, and it's something that like we want to continuously do, and like obviously like watch out, so that we also like know what's happening in our market. And then the other type of competitor, which I don't really think is like a complete competitor, are like big businesses. So again, with the shoes example, people like Bata and Nike, who've been there for years, who are well known, they like the brands. If you're selling a shoe that's the same design as like an Air Force sneaker, like how are you now gonna try and convince people to buy yours instead of like the Air Forces that they know are like already durable and work and look stylish and all these things? So what we kind of try to do with those types of people is like, okay, have they done any like community engagement projects, kind of like to give back to maybe small businesses that are in their vicinity, or small businesses that do similar things to them, and how do they support small businesses? So we first kind of went with like a not partnership angle, but just kind of like a way to just see how can we leverage their success, how can we learn from them. And this is easy, like if you can also connect with some of the like professionals who currently work with them via LinkedIn and ask them some questions. Again, like publicly accessible information, nothing like trade secrets and stuff like that. Always try stay away from like things that compromise you legally. Like from them, really try to like learn like how have they managed to be so successful for this long, and then obviously to like expand into other markets. Because when you're planning for a business, you're thinking ahead. But yeah, that's kind of how we do competitors. And I mean, with each industry, it's like different, but all in all, keeping that like attitude of wanting to learn and wanting to kind of always refine your ideas is always best. So today I want to speak about something that is, becoming increasingly important the more people do business in places like Africa, and that is localizing your content. When I say localizing your content, I mean producing content that is easily relatable and familiar to the people that you're trying to serve or target. So, one of the examples that we're seeing more and more often is adverts that are in local languages. You might see an advert in a language that you don't recognize, but someone else recognizes it, and they might not have thought that they're the target for that business, that product, that service, but just the mere fact that that advert is speaking to them in their local language, their mother tongue, or just it's using a term that they're familiar with, might make them think, let me actually try this product or this service. And that's the power of localizing your content. So as said before, you can do this through adverts in local languages, or you can have your communications person, either your receptionist or the person who's in charge of your emails. That person should be able to speak the languages of the area that you're trying to serve. So we've noticed this particularly in our relationship building exercises, that sometimes, or most of the time actually, when you start speaking to a client, everything is formal, and they might speak in either English or the local language, but it's always a bit formal. And the more they become comfortable with you and start getting to know you, they start using more informal language. They may even switch languages or start using terms that are only recognizable to someone who is well versed in that language. And again, there's a lot of power when you can relate to that, and that really helps in building customer relationships, client relationships. So I know, for example, in the Shona language, there are different slang words that become popular at different times. Some of them have lasted the test of time and are still used till this day. Others have kind of like expired and nobody really uses them anymore. But just always having your feet on the ground and ensuring that you kind of know what are people speaking about in that area, what is like trending. It really helps with your marketing efforts, your communication efforts, and your customer relations efforts. So yeah, today's message is localize your content. If you don't know how, or you don't have the capacity to do that, there are millions and millions of people that can assist you. And yeah, you can always find a solution that works best for you. Bye.